Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this month's webinar. Our topic is safety in the heat of summer. And our presenter this month is Diana Rojas. She's a nurse and a health coach with Strategic Health Services. Diana?
Hi. So we'll go ahead and start our presentation, Safety in the Heat of Summer. We'll start with our learning points. Who is affected? How do we survive the summer heat? Some emergency situations that we may encounter. How to keep our picnic food safe. We'll discuss pool safety, how to avoid a water-related illness, how to deal with bug bites and poison plants. So who is affected? Who do we have to keep a close eye on to keep them safe? So elderly people, of course, which is 65 years and older, infants and children, and people with chronic medical conditions are more prone to heat stress. We want to stay well hydrated, so we want to drink 2 to 4 glasses of fluids each hour. We want to remind the kids also not to wait until we're thirsty to drink. And so to drink 2 to 4 glasses of fluids each hour, we must drink at least 1 16-ounce water bottle every hour. So if we're out in the sun, we want to drink at least 1 water bottle per hour. And a question that some people might have is, should we drink sports beverages? So heavy sweating removes salt and minerals from the body, and sports drinks can replace these salts, minerals, and electrolytes. So including a sports drink is okay. However, water is sufficient to keep us well hydrated, and we don't necessarily need a sports drink. You also want to continue to stay hydrated, so avoid any drinks that are high in alcohol and sugar. These drinks cause us to lose fluids, and so you want to limit those types of drinks. Very cold drinks can cause stomach cramps. So even though an ice cold drink sounds delicious on a hot summer day, you may want to think twice before having one. And if you're on a fluid restriction or take water pills, you want to check with your doctor and find out how much fluid you're allowed on hot days. You want to wear appropriate clothing. And how much clothing should we wear on hot days? Try to wear as little as possible, light-colored, loose-fitting clothes, and don't forget your wide-brimmed hat. You want to use a sunscreen of SPF 30 or greater. Apply it 30 minutes before you go out and reapply it every hour. Regardless of skin type, we all need sunscreen to prevent from UVA and UVB rays that cause skin cancer. You want to schedule your outdoor activities carefully. Limit your sun exposure to 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Try to limit your outdoor activity to morning and evening hours, which are the coolest parts of the day. And you want to rest often, rest in the shade, and give your body a break to allow your thermostat a chance to recover. Stay cool indoors. Air conditioning is the #1 protective factor against heat-related illness and death. So if you don't have any air conditioning, you want to go to your local shopping malls, your public library, or call your local health department to see if there are any heat relief shelters in your area. When the temperatures are in the high 90s, a cooling fan may not be enough to overcome a heat wave. So if you can get to an air-conditioned area, you want to do so. If you're at home, you want to limit the use of your stove and oven to keep your home cool. And most importantly, you want to listen to the local news and be aware of your local weather conditions in your area to stay safe. You want to use the buddy system. So earlier in the presentation, I said that elderly and people with chronic medical conditions are more at risk of heat-related illnesses. So you want to check on your friends, your neighbors, your parents. Check on them at least twice a day, because if they become confused or lose consciousness, they won't be able to call for help. And don't leave children in cars. We see it on the news. A parent's in a rush and forgets their child in the car seat. We're all very busy, we get overwhelmed, and it can happen to any of us. So to prevent this, we have some tips to remind us that a child is in the car. Try to keep a stuffed animal in the car seat. And when you buckle the child in, place the stuffed animal in the front passenger seat. Another suggestion is to place your personal items, your purse or your briefcase, in the back seat, and this will force you to look back to the back seat. Another tip, when you leave your car, look back, check to be sure that everyone is out of the car, and don't overlook any children who have fallen asleep in the car. The interior temperature of a car can rise almost 20 degrees Fahrenheit within the first 10 minutes. So just take a second look and prevent anyone from being left behind. Recognizing heat stroke and heat exhaustion. So we'll talk about the differences between a heat stroke and heat exhaustion. So the heat stroke develops quickly, and that's an emergency. You want to call 911, get your victim to a shady area, don't give them anything to drink. Heat stroke occurs suddenly, and then some warning signs may be red, hot, and dry skin. They usually don't have any sweating. They might have a headache or dizziness, confusion, and sometimes they lose consciousness. A heat stroke occurs when the body is unable to regulate its temperature and the sweating mechanism fails and the body is unable to cool down. The body temperature may rise to 106 degrees Fahrenheit or higher within 10 to 15 minutes. It can cause death if we don't seek emergency treatment. Now, heat exhaustion, that's a milder form of a heat-related illness. It can develop several days after exposure to high temperatures and inadequate replacement of fluids. So some warning signs of heat exhaustion may be heavy sweating, muscle cramps, weakness, nausea, vomiting, and you want to keep them cool and well hydrated. Keep them in an air-conditioned environment and with lightweight clothing. Next, we'll talk about a heat rash, and a heat rash is simply a skin irritation caused by excessive sweating during hot, humid weather. It's most often common in young children. The rash may look like red clusters of pimples or small blisters, and it most likely occurs in the creases of the skin, like the neck, under the breasts, in the elbow creases, and in the groin. Now, what do you do for a heat rash? The best treatment is just to provide a cooler, less humid environment. You want to keep the area dry. You may apply dusting powder to increase comfort. And treating heat rash is pretty simple, doesn't require medical treatment, and it surely does not require an emergency room visit. Now we talk about a sunburn. So what is it? It's a red, painful, and abnormally warm skin. A sunburn causes loss of body fluids and affects the body's ability to cool down. And so what do we do if we get a sunburn? You want to drink plenty of fluids, keep cool, avoid repeated sun exposure, and to relieve pain, you want to apply cold compress or immerse in cool water. Apply moisturizing lotion to the affected area. Don't put any salve, butter, or ointments on it, and don't break any of the blisters. Consult a doctor if the sunburn affects children younger than 1 year of age or if there's fever or severe pain. So now we're going to talk about packing food and transporting it safely. So for a worry-free picnic, you want to use a well-insulated cooler with plenty of ice or freezer gel packs. Keep your cold food cold. You want to organize your cooler contents. Pack beverages in one cooler and perishable foods in another. And that way, as the beverage cooler is open and closed, and as guests replenish their drinks, your perishable foods won't be exposed to the warm outdoor air temperatures. Cold food should be stored at 40 degrees or below to prevent bacterial growth. So you want to keep your meat, poultry, and seafood packed, maybe while still frozen, so that it can stay colder longer. Don't cross-contaminate. Be sure to keep your raw meat securely wrapped, and this prevents their juices from contaminating any cooked foods or your fruits and vegetables. When serving, never reuse a plate or utensils that previously held raw meat, for serving, unless you've washed that serving utensil in hot soapy water. You can spread bacteria onto your cooked food. Clean your fresh fruits and vegetables in running tap water before packing them in a cooler, and have them ready to eat at your picnic, and this will save you some time. Food safety. So when you arrive at the picnic, your first task is to wash your hands before preparing your food. If running water is not available, you want to use disposable wet wipes or hand sanitizer to clean your hands before touching the food. Don't leave your foods out in the sun. Keep the cooler in the shade. Serve your food quickly from the cooler and then return it back. In hot weather that's above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, food shouldn't sit out of the cooler for over an hour. So that's the rule. If it's been over an hour, then you want to discard it. For leftovers, don't forget to unpack your cooler as soon as you get home, and you want to refrigerate your leftover meats and salads, which have stayed cold. And remember, if they've been out longer than an hour, you want to discard them. We'll talk about pool safety and appropriate equipment. So you want to know if there are fences that limit access to the pool and the spa. Has the pool and spa been inspected to ensure it's compliant with federal, local laws and regulations? Are the safety drain covers being used to be in compliance? Do the pumps appear to be running? And also, is there life-saving equipment, such as the life rings and reaching poles available? Now we'll cover children and pool safety. So you want to stay close, you want to be alert, and watch the children in and around the pool. Is there a lifeguard at the pool to watch them? Are you watching your own children? Are the water safety rules posted in a visible area for everyone to see? Is there sufficient staff to monitor the pool when it's in heavy use? And you always want to have a charged phone close by just in case of an emergency. So water safety skills. Do you and your children know how to swim? You want to make sure everybody knows how to swim. Is the staff trained and certified in first aid and emergency response? Do you know how to perform CPR on children and adults? And you want to make sure your skills are updated regularly. And do you understand the basics of life-saving so you can assist in an emergency? Now we'll talk about the Norovirus. And this virus is the most common cause of gastroenteritis in the U.S. Some signs and symptoms can be cramping, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. And how do you get it? If you eat food or drink liquids that are contaminated with the virus, touching any surfaces or objects with the virus on them, and then putting your hands and fingers in your mouth, or having direct contact with a person who is infected, or by sharing food and utensils. How do we avoid it? You want to wash your hands often with soap and water, especially after using the toilet and changing diapers, and always before eating or preparing food. If soap and water aren't available, you want to use an alcohol-based sanitizer. And these sanitizers reduce the number of germs on your hands, but they're not a substitute for washing with soap and water. So if you have soap and water, that's the best. Clean and disinfect your contaminated surfaces with bleach and household cleaners, and that will also help to spread the virus. Avoiding the virus, you want to keep pee, poop, sweat, and dirt out of the water. So don't pee and poop in the water. Don't swallow the pool or lake water. Shower before you get into the water. Stay out of the water if you have diarrhea. And in pools, remember that chlorine does not keep all germs away. The chlorine needs time to work. So one important key is every hour, everyone out. So take the kids on bathroom breaks, check diapers, and change them in an area away from the pool. Every hour, you want to reapply your sunscreen. Insect repellents. Now, ticks and mosquitoes, you can use repellent containing 20% or more of DEET. And for protection against the mosquitoes only, you can use a DEET product, petardin, oil of lemon eucalyptus, or an IR 35-35 repellent. And if you're using sunscreen, you want to apply your sunscreen first and insect repellent second. Follow your package directions when applying the repellent on children, and don't apply the repellent to their hands, their eyes, and their mouth. Preventing bug bites. So you want to prevent mosquito bites. You want to cover your exposed skin by wearing long sleeve shirts, long pants, and hats. Stay and sleep in screened or air-conditioned rooms. Use a bed net if an area where you're sleeping is exposed to the outdoors. To prevent tick bites, you want to cover your exposed skin by wearing long sleeve shirts, long pants, and hats. You want to tuck in your shirts or tuck your pants into your socks, and wear closed shoes instead of sandals to prevent the bites. Avoid wooded and brushy areas with high grass, brush, and leaves. Walk in the center of the hiking trail. And once you get home, always check for ticks if you've been outdoors in the grassy, wooded areas. And some general bug bite tips: avoid wearing bright clothing and strong perfumes or lotions when going outside. Treating bug bites: if you do get a bug bite, you want to treat it with an ice pack to help minimize pain and swelling. Avoid scratching. If the bug bites itch, you want to use over-the-counter calamine lotion, hydrocortisone cream, or an antihistamine. For ticks, you want to find it. You want to remove the tick from your body. Bathe or shower as soon as possible after coming indoors. Check your entire body, like under your arms, in and around your ears, your belly button, behind your knees, anywhere where there's a crevice, and especially in your hair. You want to use a handheld or full-length mirror to view all parts of your body, and be sure to remove the ticks properly. And don't forget to check the kids for ticks, and also check your pets, check your belongings. Ticks can also stay on outdoor equipment and clothes. So this is a picture of some poison plants. So poison ivy and poison oak. So first of all, you want to learn about the poison plants in your area and familiarize yourself with what they look like so you can try to avoid them. Symptoms of skin contact: you might have a red rash within a few days of contact, swelling, itching, some possible bumps, streaking or weeping blisters. The rash sometimes lasts for about 2 to 3 weeks. And then just a note, the blister fluids are not contagious. First aid for your poison ants: if you're exposed to a poison ant, you want to immediately rinse and wash the skin with lots of cold water. You want to avoid hot water, as this will open your pores and let the oil in faster. Rinse frequently. The wash solution does not dry on the skin. You want to scrub under your nails with a brush so that you don't spread it. Apply wet compresses, calamine lotion, or hydrocortisone cream to the skin to reduce itching and blistering. Oatmeal baths may relieve the itching, so can an antihistamine. You want to call 911 or go to the emergency department if you have a severe allergic reaction, such as swelling or difficulty breathing, or had a severe allergic reaction in the past. And so this is just going over the highlights. So we're just going to remember what we spoke about. And so the elderly and infants and children, people with chronic medical conditions, are more prone to heat stress. Air conditioning is the #1 protective factor against a heat-related illness. You want to listen to your local news and weather for health and safety updates. You want to drink cool, non-alcoholic beverages and increase your fluid intake. Don't forget your sunscreen. Schedule outdoor activities during the coolest part of the day. Keep cold food cold and hot food hot. Regarding the pool, you want to stay close, be alert, and watch your children. Dress appropriately, and don't forget your insect repellent. Wash your hands, and don't forget to wash your hands. And be aware of your poison plants and seek treatment immediately. And these are just the references. If you have any questions or you need any additional information, You can always go to the CDC or the foodsafety.gov if you want some more information on temperatures for food.
Diana, it looks like we may have a couple of questions coming in, so let's just give it 1 minute.
Okay.
The first question is, what is the best way to remove a tick?
Okay, so if you do find a tick on your body, you want to make sure you can use a tweezer. You don't want to put any remedies like painting the tick with nail polish, petroleum jelly, or using heat. So don't do any of that. You want to get a tweezer and grasp the tick as close to the skin as possible. You want to pull upward with a steady pressure. You want to make sure that you move the mouth parts with the tweezer. So you want to remove the head and the mouth parts. That's the most important part. And if after you remove the tick, you want to clean the bite with rubbing alcohol or iodine scrub or soap and water.
Okay, thank you. That was a great question. We have a couple of minutes left, so let's see here. Here's another question. This is a good one too, and I'm interested in the answer to this. I'm a dark complexion, and I don't typically burn. Do I still need to wear sunscreen?
Absolutely. Regardless of our skin type and color, and even if we don't typically get a sunburn, we all need to wear the UVA and UVB protection of a sunscreen so that we don't get skin cancer. You know, melanoma is the #1 causative factor of skin cancer. So in order to prevent that, we do need to wear sunscreen and try to wear a SPF of 30 or greater.
Okay, thank you. I think we have time for one more question, so let me see here. Here's one. How much water should I drink in a day if I'm outside constantly during the summer?
Okay, great. So when we're out in the heat, we must drink 2 to 4 glasses of fluid every hour. And so typically, you know, if you drink a 16-ounce water bottle every hour, that would be good. Another tip is you can drink half of your body weight in ounces of water a day. So for example, if you're a person that weighs 100 pounds, then half of that would be 50. So 50 ounces would be the amount that you would drink in a day.
Okay, well, thank you. And I think that's all the time we have. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Thank you, Diana, for a wonderful presentation. And if you didn't get your questions answered, there is a survey afterwards. If you have questions on the survey, we'll get in contact with you. Or as always, you can contact your health coach at any time with any health-related questions that you may have. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you join us again next month. Have a great day.